If you could just tell us a bit about that, just some of the highlights of this.
Okay, I think to get the perspective right, compliance improvement strategy is not simply about identifying the risk and doing treatments to it. I think the approach that we are taking is certainly risk identified, mitigation strategies to be identified, but at the same time, I think in the current context, we also need to look at what are the industries that needs our assistance in terms of one, tax compliance, in terms of two, the contribution to the economic growth. So I think in terms of ease of doing business, paying taxes is one of the criteria. So how do we make that easy, right? Going forward, the strategy is self-assessment and voluntary compliance. Now, to create self-assessment environment, we need provision of information, profiling and all that to be done. And in terms of voluntary compliance, then only taxpayers can voluntarily comply and achieve accuracy of their lodgements. So that is the whole idea about the compliance improvement strategy. So of course we cannot do everything all at once. Therefore, we select certain industries based on profiles. Just like we are looking at large international businesses, we are looking at the VAT revenue, we are looking at tourism industry. Tourism is a very, very important industry to the Fijian economy. And therefore, it's not about investigating the tourism industry. It's about how do we create support. It's like backbone of thriving business in Fiji. The destination Fiji is. So all the new entrepreneurs entering into the industry, we need to give them support and provide them guidance for compliance from the start. So that's the idea.
Okay. If you could just tell us the amount of tax collected so far.
You're asking me numbers. I don't remember the numbers like that. We'll give you responses on that.
Okay. And also about the industries that have contributed and all that. So I understand that of all businesses in Fiji, this is numbers as well, over 50% have made their tax returns. What about the rest? What are we doing about it?
So about the rest, of course, the non-compliant, they don't go off the hook. But the point is, you got to then dissect the non-compliant taxpayers to understand what is their difficulty. If there may be people who are non-compliant, they want to be compliant, but they need assistance. So again, compliance improvement strategy about that, understanding the population, and then devising strategies and mitigation actions according to their needs. So there are certainly very deliberate ones who need to be treated with investigation and fraud investigations and the like. But there are people, there are taxpayers who need some assistance. They find it difficult. They don't have guidance. Whether they take assistance from a tax agent or they can do it themselves. And then for many, it may also be an issue around, the burden, the cost of compliance. So they may be finding it difficult, and therefore they need assistance from the tax office. And that's why we're developing products of like, SME support center, where they can come for free advisory, even in terms of lodgement of returns. And we also have draft templates for small businesses and how they can do the income statements and stuff like that. So that will help us, address the non-compliance.
Okay. How many cases have been investigated so far by FRCS for under-declaration of sales?
Again, I think we can give them data from our webpage.
Okay.
So we'll be able to share information like 5,000 cases investigated.
And even fraudulent cases as well.
Yeah.
And the whistleblower.
And the whistleblower, we can do that.
Okay. And your key priority areas that you've managed to achieve this year and for next year?
Again, we are saying, as we had, we are focusing on our customers. Customer service is our main area we are looking at, and then developing our services, tailor-making our services to meet their needs. So, of course, at the end of the day, we are the revenue collectors for the state. So whatever the law empowers us to do, that we want to effectively do, making a contribution to economic growth as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you will be reappointed as CEO?
That's for the bosses to tell me, man.
So when will you know? You've reapplied, right?
Yeah, certainly. So, you got to allow the process to happen. I think, governance requires the recruitment process to happen. So that's in motion. So we have to wait for
Okay, for the word to come.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
All good. All is well.
Thank you.